Hey everyone, this is Nick with Connect Lax here today with Kelly Springer to talk a little bit about nutrition and what you should be doing to fuel your body. So Kelly is a registered dietitian and owner of Kelly's Choice, and she works with a number of college sports teams to help them bring their performance to the next level. So Kelly, tell us a little bit about it.
We have a window of about 15 to 30 minutes to get in protein and carbohydrates. But do you remember we were talking about the race car for carbohydrates?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want you to kind of think about protein as being like a big, huge tractor. Now, would it be easy to take a tractor from New York City down to wherever, to North Carolina?
Anywhere would be a brutal ride.
It'd be horrible, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I want you to think about protein. It's not for energy. It's not for, remember we talked about those quick races? It's really for recovery, okay? So protein's gonna go in and help to repair the muscle. And with getting in protein around that 15 to 30 minutes, that's when it's really gonna go in and help to repair that muscle.
So like right after you have like an intense workout, you're crawling out of the gym, you're crawling off the field, then you want to say like immediately.
Immediately.
Okay.
Immediately. And this can come in the way of doing some whey protein. That's fine. Also, you could do even, like I said, like some turkey roll-ups. You could do some nuts, anything that has protein in it right away as soon as you get off.
So what happens if I don't do that? I know like sometimes I'll go to the gym and like I'll get distracted and I'll just eat like an hour afterwards. Like, am I starving my muscles and like am I like getting rid of all the work I just did, or what kind of happens there?
In the same way of carbs too. So we had just a guy recently talk to us and he said he's just doing a protein shake and not having carbohydrates. So that's one point I want you to get into.
Which I'm guilty of too. Yeah.
You have to do the carbohydrates as well.
Okay.
And if you don't, I want you to think about those cells as like being like a sponge. So ever see like a dried out sponge before? Like a really dried out sponge?
Yeah.
Well, what happens is those cells, right after you're done working out, are ready to take in those carbohydrates and that protein.
Okay.
They're adapted for it, okay? It's like, it has to do with insulin levels and a bunch of different things. But they're ready for that uptake of glucose and that protein into the cells.
Okay.
If you don't get them in between that 15 and 30 minutes, what happens is it gets less and less and less able to absorb.
Oh, okay.
So the next time you go out to play the game or out for practice, you're already going to be diminished.
Oh, okay. So it kind of like closes off and then stays there.
It does.
Unless you work out again, and then you're gonna be tired again. So
exactly.
like
you're not gonna have like a full tank when you go back out again.
So that kind of like goes back to your point of it's nutrition's like a whole year thing.
It is.
And it's not just like day by day or even week by week.
Absolutely. But the good news is if you're, kind of feeling low right now or you have no energy, you can reverse that. So by good, healthy nutrition, you can actually reverse any basic diagnosis. So if you're feeling really crappy or, you're not really performing well or you're getting lots of leg cramps, nutrition can reverse almost all of that.
Okay. So I know that some people, I live here in New York City, happy hour is a big thing. People go to the gym, they work out super hard, then like, oh, let's go to happy hour for a little bit, and it's like, have a couple drinks. Like, what happens then?
Okay, well, you are getting your carbohydrates.
Yeah, that's for sure, right? Right there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so you are getting carbs to refill, but with alcohol, it's gonna dehydrate you, and that's actually a perfect segment and segue to get into our hydration. Okay. Hydration is one of the #1 problems actually with athletes. We have a dietitian that lives out in the Colorado area, and she did a little assessment on her lacrosse players and also on her football players. And when they took the field, right before they went out, she had this kind of gross, but she did urine tests.
Yeah.
85 to 95% of the players going out on the field were already dehydrated.
No way, wow.
Already. So think about how much...
You sweat so much during practice and whatnot, yeah.
Absolutely. So you're getting dehydrated and more dehydrated, and that's where the leg cramps come in. So you probably saw last year, like in Final Four, that a guy went down. He got a major cramp. Can you imagine Final Four and you're out. You're out of the game.
Yep, that's it.
And that's almost always due to dehydration. So with hydration, you do need electrolytes to help get that actual fluid into the cells.
Okay.
So in the way of electrolytes, potassium being one of them, that's why the bananas before the game. Also sodium, magnesium, and also calcium.
Okay.
Those are all electrolytes. So in speaking of electrolytes, have you ever heard of Motivpure?
I've heard of it. I'm not sure if I've had it. I may have like taken it incorrectly and like just slugged it down or something, but tell me about it.
Yeah. So the reason we love it is because it was created by a lacrosse guy.
Yeah, lacrosse.
Yeah.
All right.
So Jesse Hubbard, he played at Princeton, then also went on to play pro. But he created this because he was drinking those sugary sports drinks.
Yep.
And they were really making like his GI issues, and it was just like not good. He didn't feel good when he was playing.
Yeah, I've never really been a huge fan either. I usually just stuck to water because it'd leave like a tacky taste in my mouth.
Yeah, there's a lot of dyes and the sugar,
Yeah, it's funky.
right? So the reason I love this is because it has no sugar. It uses stevia, which is an actual natural plant, so no calories. And it's electrolyte solution. So unlike those ones that you have like a powder and you have to like shake up your water bottle to get it in, you could just pour this into your water bottle.
Oh, so I should not take it like a shot then. Okay.
You shouldn't, and that's a really good point too.
Cool.
So when you think about the way of electrolytes, if you think about a boat and you think about that boat being on a river, what does that boat need to get down the river?
Water?
Yes.
Water?
That's it.
Yes, it does. It does need water. If you didn't have water, that boat would just stay there. And the same with electrolytes. So you just put this into a bottle of water and you drink it that way. Okay, and they're great flavors too. They have like orange and pink lemonade and a whole bunch of flavors and berry. Yeah, they're really good. But it's really great too because it's gonna mix up evenly in your water bottle.
Great.
So this can be used anytime. Okay.
So a question I did have, how much water should we be drinking? Like I feel like I don't drink enough water on a daily basis, and then especially if I'm competing, you know, how much water should I be consuming and when?
Well, it's at least half your body weight.
Okay.
Which you can kind of think about how much that is. It's quite a lot.
So in ounces or like how?
Yes, in ounces. So if you take your weight and divide it by 2, that's how many ounces you should be having a day.
Oh, okay.
It's quite a lot, right?
I'll do that math later.
If you're 120 pounds and you divide it by 2, it's 60 ounces a day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So especially, and that's where we really want athletes to be drinking throughout the day. So whenever I do talks and I'm in front of sports teams, I'm like, who has a water bottle in their hand? Because if you don't, you're probably already dehydrated.
Pretty sure I'm dehydrated.
Because there's no way you can get in all of that hydration right before the game or even right afterwards, okay? We want to make sure that we're hydrated evenly throughout the day. Just like we talked about in the way of protein and carbohydrates, you have to get this evenly throughout the day.
So I know there's some people that think maybe I'm like overhydrating. Is that even a thing?
Well, it's pretty difficult to overhydrate, but if you have the electrolytes, it's gonna help to keep the electrolyte balance in your body. So that's where adding something like this could be a great way to get your hydration.
So at least that the level that you said where you divide your weight by 2 and then that amount of ounces, that should be your baseline.
That should be your baseline.
Got it.
That should be your baseline. And if you feel like, well, the really good way to do it, and again, this is not really cool to think about, but if your urine is basically clear, that means that you're properly hydrated.
Clear is good.
Clear is good.
Okay.
so you know, really checking into your body, like making sure that you're staying on track with carbohydrates, proteins, hydration. So we basically went through all of that today. We talked about what to eat before the game, what after the game, even before practice, how you really need good hydration throughout the whole year.
Great.
Okay.
Cool.
So thank you so much for having me in.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I mean, I learned a lot today. I hope you all learned as well.
I hope you did too. And if you want more tips, you can go to kellyschoice.org and please follow us on social media as well.
Great. And subscribe to Connect Lax for more recruiting advice and nutritional information from Kelly when she comes around again. And take care. Thanks, everyone.